Now, for more on the purchasing power of women in China, I'm joined by Ophenia Liang from Sydney. Ophenia is the co-founder of the global cross-cultural consultancy Digital Crew. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening.
So give us an idea, how is women's purchasing power in China changing as the middle class grows and the country continues to open up?
Well, China has one of the most highest employment participation rate for women in the world. And in terms of women in management, it's very high as well compared to Western countries. Some domestic companies or government agencies even have as high as 50 to 60% of women in management. So that means women has a much larger buying power compared to 5 to 10 years ago.
And it also seems to be that when you have more women in some of these decision-making positions, that the end product ends up actually catering a lot more to some of their female consumers. Tell us a little bit about why women, it's important to have them in those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, based on the first-hand research done by Monash University, funded by Digital Crew, recently we found that Chinese women consider foreign brands, in particular in wine and tourism destination brands in Australia and as well as America, which surprisingly are very different compared to their male counterparts.
So what are some of the industries that benefit the most from female consumption in China?
Yeah, well, as the employment rate high and also consumption power going up and growing middle class for all the women, and they are the household consumption decision makers. And they choose to buy a lot more quality foreign brands as well as brands that portray themselves as very professional. Foreign brands in the sense that are not from China. And in particular, we found that tourism brands as well as wine brands. And there are differences between first-tier cities and second-tier cities as well. Female from first-tier cities tend to choose more the finer things, if we say so. They are in the wine or luxury category. However, consumers or female consumers from the second-tier cities, they tend to choose more fast-moving consumer goods and beverage.
So especially given the role of women as decision makers, not just in companies, but also in families, just how valuable are women's contributions to China's economy overall?
Well, it's absolutely phenomenal. They are the key decision makers in household consumptions, not just cars, but also daily consumption or travel decisions. And we find that females are making most of the purchasing decision, including buying properties and travel plans. So we already finding a lot of foreign brands are targeting female in particular.
Now, we've seen some companies kind of make a misstep. They'll just kind of paint something pink and assume that that's what women want. But is this lack of understanding by some companies about female consumption leading to more women starting their own companies to really meet those gaps in the market?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, female consumers in China, in the recent decades, they are becoming very savvy. First of all, they are highly educated. Most of them are college and above education. And also, they are making informed decisions. They will do research, and before they buy anything, they would consider it very carefully, as well as they are digitally savvy. So they read a lot online and connect with brands digitally.
So for some of these companies, perhaps some of these older companies trying to change their mindset, what are some of the strategies they can put in place to really get into the minds of the modern Chinese female consumer?
I think definitely connecting to consumers digitally, online, through social media, digital means, videos. And in the digital age, we can see China has more than 700 million consumers are online, and more than half of them are purchasing online. So brands really need to adapt to the online and e-commerce space, and consumer are actually familiar of purchasing with mobile payments as well. So we find that brands who are adapting to this latest digital and e-commerce trend are more successful in China.
And very quickly, we have about 20 seconds. What's your outlook in terms of the growth of the female consumption market in China?
I think if any brands who are serious about China in the long run, they definitely need to consider talking to their female consumers seriously in China and purchasing themselves as quality, professional, and renowned, trustworthy brands in order to be successful in China.
All right, thank you so much. Ophenia Liang, their co-founder of
you.
Digital Crew.